creative thinkers. I will be your host, Zoey Brown. Today, we will take a quest with Naya and her journey to become a triathlete in I Am a Triathlete, written by Obotette, illustrated by Adriel Mika. Ooh, this has a nice design on it. I am a triathlete. Reading was something Naya really enjoyed. She would choose printed books over digital toys. Comfy and cozy in her favorite nook, Naya was often surrounded by so many books. Treasuring the smell of a new book in her hands, she would often start reading and forget she had made plans. That's kind of like me because I always love to read books. The library was where Naya spent most of her time. Each book that she read would help sharpen her mind. That's where she first saw it, written in bold on bright colored paper tucked in a book's fold. One sheet of paper with edges a bit frayed. Naya started to read it, but what did it say? Come swim, come bike, come run. A triathlon is so much fun. She paused for a moment and started to think. What if I try out for something new? She said with a wink. Dozens of thoughts went through Naya's head, but then she remembered all the stories she had read. Tales that had challenges and poems about pain. Stories filled with courage and some filled with gain. A triathlon could be difficult. She could try and then fail. So Naya took a deep breath and some time to exhale. A click of her phone and there was the site. She would talk with her family and sign up that night. She scoured the internet and checked out some books. She came across a video she could not overlook. This inspirational video planted a seed, and it reflected the pressure we all feel to succeed. And the more Naya watched, the more she learned that courage is not given, it is only earned. If she trained and prepared, there would be no reason to despair. She could define what is success by showing up and doing her best. Naya checked her calendar and made a plan. The very next day, her training began. Soon that excitement turned into regret when she fell off her bike and got very upset. She wasn't even sure if she wanted to try anymore. Every day that she trained, her muscles were sore. Pushing past her aches and her pains to become an athlete, Naya got back on her bike the very next week. A triathlon includes 3 parts, not just one. She still needed to train for the swim and the run. Ooh, I like to swim and run too. Each step of her training made her feel so alive. As she started to enjoy being outside, sometimes she would walk, sometimes she would run, but she kept on moving as each mile was done. Naya practiced transitioning from her bike to the run, improving her time as she practiced each one. Naya thought of the video about her being her best. That if she kept training, she'd soon see progress. But training to swim did not come with ease. The thought of drowning made her weak at the knees. She sat at the edge with tears in her eyes, trying her very best not to cry. No, she said with new determination, I won't let this challenge steal my motivation. I won't stop until I am done. I will practice really hard and I will overcome. weeks went by as her training increased. Just thinking of the triathlon made her heart skip a beat. The day of the triathlon, it was quite a busy scene as everyone gathered to organize their things. Naya took a deep breath to help calm her fears and carefully set about preparing her gear. Ready, set, go! Naya took off in stride, determined to leave all her fears far behind. First the swim, then the bike, and finally the run. Naya was close to the finish line. Her challenge was nearly done. Crossing the finish line filled Naya with pride. Just remembering as she started the race, she felt terrified. As she looked at her medal, she started to say, if I put my mind to it, I can find a way. Today I am a triathlete. Tomorrow, who knows? Maybe one day I will challenge the pros. Now, nothing compared to the medal in her hand, as she thought about all of the hardships she had to withstand. Naya thought about the morning she had to get up and train, sometimes having to run in the rain. Playing in the rain is fun for me and my sister, Lama. Naya thought about what happens when you have the will to try something new and increase your skill. Naya had spent weeks in the pool and time in the gym just to conquer her fear to swim. Naya pulled out her phone and reflected on the day. She hit record and started to say, weeks ago, I would never believe that being a triathlete was something I could achieve. Of all my planning and reading of books, scouring the internet, and the labor it took. As I look at my medal, what a success! Simply by showing up and doing my best. Never underestimate how your life might unfold when you try something different. Something really bold. Change only happens when you try and explore, by saying yes to adventure when it knocks on your door. Naya shared the video. She was surprised as it soared, but it gave her an idea that she really adored. Having learned her first hand of the effort it took, Naya was inspired to write her own swim, bike, and run book. The end. That was a great book to teach us when you have confidence, you can do anything. I'll see you next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central for KidBits with Zoey Brown, Bedtime Book Adventures. Good night.